Okay, we are going live on Facebook now. So you should see the link and should be able to share it momentarily. And we are on. So we have about 2 more minutes. So we're just going to wait for a few more persons to join. In the meantime, we can go ahead and share the event on your Facebook pages. Anyone who's already on the live, you can also do the same.
I can't, this is Commissioner Sharif. How do I pick up the sharing link? Because I'm not seeing that on my side.
So on our Facebook page,
Okay.
OESBD's Facebook page, in the bottom right-hand corner, you should see share.
Okay, got it. Okay, I thought it was
Okay.
something on this screen. Okay, I'll go do that. I'm not seeing that on my side.
So on our Facebook page,
Okay.
OESBD's Facebook page, in the bottom right-hand corner, you should see. Well, it's 10:30 a.m. and I want to thank all of you for joining us today for a conversation with Women Visionaries in Broward. I am Tamika Bell with the County's Office of Economic and Small Business Development team. And today we have an amazing group of women for our conversation, most of whom are all small business owners right here in Broward County. If you are following us on Facebook, if you have any questions for our speakers or in general, you can put them in the comments and they will be answered at the end. At this time, let me take this opportunity to introduce our moderator and Assistant Director of Office of Economic and Small Business Development, the amazing, dynamic, and ultimate girl boss, Maribel Feliciano.
Thank you, Tamika, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here this morning with all. I want to thank Tamika for putting together this amazing event and all our community relations and outreach team for promoting the event and actually coordinating all the logistics. We have an excellent program for you this morning. As Tamika indicated, my name is Maribel Feliciano. I'm the Assistant Director with the Broward County Office of Economic and Small Business Development, and I will be your moderator this morning on this conversation with women visionaries here in Broward. March is Women History Month, and we're hosting this session because we want to celebrate our women-owned businesses during this month. We're here to celebrate you. I am joined by 5 powerful, dynamic, and inspiring women that are going to share with us their success stories. What is their secret to success? How are they able to balance their business, owning a business, sometimes being a mom, all the other responsibilities and priorities that they have? How can they balance all those things and be successful? But to start our program, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Senator Nan Ridge, that will provide some welcome remarks and tell us about the status of women here in Broward. Senator Ridge.
Okay, thank you so much, Maribel. I just want to say, not only is she a great boss in this department, but let me tell you, she was a powerhouse for us when we were conducting the 2020 census in Broward County, and really did a great job helping us out. So thank you again for that as well. I want to also thank the entire staff at the Office of Economic and Small Business Development for putting this together. It's just really very exciting to have this kind of an event, especially during Women's History Month. And we're almost at the end, so we just got it in just in time. Special thanks to, of course, Maribel and Tamika Bell and Tatiana, and of course, our director, Sandy McDonald. And I have to say about Sandy, when I first got elected to the commission, I told him how upset I was with my 12 years in the Florida legislature trying to deal with economic and small business development on a state level, and what we did on the state level, or didn't do, what you might say. And he said, well, we don't do it like that here. And he started to explain and talk about the things, that we do. And so I've learned a lot, from him and from Maribel. And I'm just really happy to be here today to be representing the commission. My colleague is on as well in a different capacity today as a small businesswoman. But I really am very pleased to be here and participate. As was mentioned, March is Women's History Month. And while I believe that women in our community continue to make history every day of the year, this provides a great opportunity to reflect on some of the positive changes we've seen over the last year and to take stock of the progress that we still must make. In November 2019, I sponsored a county ordinance for the Broward County Commission to adopt what's called the CEDAW, and that stands for the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Fortunately, it was passed by the United Nations back in 1979, but unfortunately, the United States is still not one of the signatories on it. And we're unfortunately in some pretty poor company because most countries in the world have signed it, except for Iran, Somalia, Sudan, so forth, a couple of other countries. So in the absence of the ratification, counties and cities across the United States are using their policy-making mechanisms to go ahead and advance the principles of CEDAW. So this ordinance that we passed, and I might add unanimously, every one of the commissioners sponsored it, and they better, otherwise Barbara and I would be very upset, Commissioner Sharif and I, but everyone did. And we became the 8th local jurisdiction in the United States with the CEDAW ordinance. So I'm really very proud of that. As a part of the ordinance, the Office of the County Auditor was tasked with the responsibility of actually going out and contracting to have a report done on the status of women in Broward County. So we contracted with an excellent research group out of FIU Metropolitan Center. They've done a lot of work for Broward, and they've done the affordable housing study needs assessment for Broward. So we contracted with them, and as I said, they're really a leading urban think tank. And now this month, in conjunction with Women's History Month, we received the first of what will now be regular biennial reports so that we can keep track of what's going on a year-to-year basis. The report fulfills the mandate, as I mentioned, and it focuses on areas of economic development, health, safety, and education, those 4 areas. And this original report now is providing a baseline for the well-being of women in Broward County, and a starting point for improvements in programming and policies that close the gender pay gap and decreased gender disparities. So we're very excited about that. I'm not going to go over the whole report. Obviously, it's very long, and you can access it on our auditor's website. And maybe afterwards, this could be sent out to the group that's on the Facebook today, because I think it's important for people to read it and see what we're doing well and where we need important improvements. One of the report's most important findings is that women in our community have been closing the educational achievement gap with their male peers. We now have more women than men graduating from high school and fewer overall women in the workforce with a high school degree or less. Those numbers are fairly close. By 2019, Broward saw that there were nearly equal percentages of men and women over the age of 25 with bachelor's degrees or higher in the workforce. Also, while we've seen an increase in the number of women pursuing degrees in the STEM fields, there is still a significant gap between the percentage of men pursuing STEM degrees compared to women. However, as the educational attainment gap continues to close, the largest gap in earnings impact happens to be with a graduate or professional degree as compared to men, women with men. As a matter of fact, the average woman in Broward County with a graduate or professional degree earned $60,468 in 2019. A man in Broward County with that same degree earned $90,789. So that's a 33% gap. So obviously a lot of work to do there. That's one of the real reasons that events like this really will make a difference, hearing from women who have experienced different issues and concerns and the positive things as well in their businesses. This morning, you're going to hear from a panel of business owners whose businesses are certified through the county's CBE program. This is one of the most significant ways that the County Commission can ensure that our local taxpayer dollars are helping to grow our local businesses. And I must say that Commissioner Shreve's been on the commission a lot longer than I have, but I am extremely impressed with the commitment that the Broward County Commission has to the CBE program, continually working to make it better and to include more people. We have an annual operating budget in this county of over $5 billion, and the Office of Economic and Small Business Development is really working hard to find opportunities to carve out CBE percentages for our largest contracts and pulling together small contracts into a CBE reserve so that local companies can get a first bite at the apple. And that's not all. I'm sure each of the women on this morning's panel can tell you that the biggest advantage of being a CBE is a mentoring relationship that you can form with a subcontractor as a subcontractor with prime vendors. As a CBE subcontractor, these businesses learn from some of the biggest players in the market. This is how our community closes the gender pay gap. When we invest in our local women-owned businesses and we put them on a path to one day become the prime vendors and top earners. I am, as I said, extremely impressed with what we are doing, and we're always looking to do it better. So thank you all so much for being on here today. And everybody is looking forward to hearing from you. So thank you so much, and I will turn this back over to Maribel.
Thank you, Senator Rich, for joining us this morning. We know you have a really busy schedule. We want to thank you for being with us this morning.
Pleasure.
We want to thank you for your leadership and your advocacy on women issues and for your support of small businesses. Thank you. And now, are we ready? Are you ready to start the conversation with these women visionaries in Broward? I am ready. I am thrilled to be moderating this panel this morning. And we want you to share the live feed, the Facebook feed with your friends. We have 55 participants at this time. I want to double those numbers. So all you have to do is go to the share button. Please click on the share button on your Facebook Live and share with all your friends. And then encourage your friends to share with their friends because we really want everybody to be part of this conversation. Something else is, as Tamika mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to type the questions on the comments fields of Facebook. That way, we'll be able to get to your questions at the end of the program. And now it's time for us to meet our speakers for this morning. I am going to start by introducing Commissioner Dr. Barbara Sharif. She is Commissioner for District 8 and owner of South Florida Pediatric Home Care, Inc. Commissioner Dr. Sharif has been a strong advocate for many, many, many years of our Broward County small businesses. When she was mayor of Broward County, she has started a program called Broward Means Business, and highlighting and promoting our Broward County small businesses here in Broward. It has been a pleasure to work with Commissioner Dr. Sharif for many years. Thank you for your leadership and your advocacy. And I'm gonna let each one of our speakers introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their business. So we'll start with Commissioner Dr. Sharif.
Oh, thank you. It's just a privilege to be here with all of you. And I've been in elected office for just over 12 years, 2 years at the city level, 10 years and change at the county level. And one of the things that I learned as far as business is concerned, being a business owner, I'll tell you a little bit about my business. I'm a doctor of nursing practice, 28 years in the healthcare profession. For the last 21 years, I've had my company, South Florida Pediatric Home Care. And what we do is, my specialty is critical care. So we take kids home who are sick and who need ventilator care and other intensive care services. We set up the intensive care unit at home and provide around-the-clock nursing care and therapy services for children that are at home. And I've been doing that, like I said, for a little over almost 21 years now, and employ just over 200 professionals between Broward and Dade County. What I think is so important about women-owned businesses is that, especially in healthcare, women dominate the healthcare industry. However, we have very few administration positions and very few ownership roles, and men dominate in that area. And our pay is very upside down, meaning a man can make twice as much as a woman with the same degrees in our profession. And it has been that way for a long time. I struggled with that for some time while I was in the active hospital side of my career. And I think that that's something that, as a county commissioner, I focused on recognizing women-owned businesses, trying to get them more business, and then also recognizing that gender pay gap exists still, and it is as a result, of course, of implicit biases, sometimes known or unknown biases. And I'm just interested in, one, today hearing about how others are dealing with that, and two, just getting to know all of you. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Sharif. Next speaker I would like to introduce is Deborah Danto from Danto Builders. Actually, Debbie is one of our certified small businesses as well. So we would like to let Debbie introduce herself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Good morning. So my name is Debbie Danto, Danto Builders. I am a co-owner with my husband, Craig Danto, and he is actually a fourth generation builder that came to the South Florida area over 40 years ago. We are a general contractor and design build firm, and we focus on commercial building, especially healthcare, hospitality, and industrial. And it's interesting, about 4 years ago, and I was in the business already 15 years at that point in time, I was sitting in a meeting at Broward Health, and it was about their diversity program. And I understood the benefits of becoming a woman-owned business. So at that point, we started a transition into becoming a woman-owned business, which is a little bit of challenge, because although I have a very traditional education with graduate degree, I had to get my GC license. And that was probably the hardest exam I took in all of my life. And I'm glad that's over. But we officially became a woman-owned business after I received my GC license, which I passed on the first time, thank God. But then I went to Broward County and applied and became a CVE firm. And I can't express what a great team they have there at that point in time. Of course, Sandy was there, Pamela, And also Jasmine was there. And they had a mentorship program, which I participated in, and they introduced me to Dodie Keith, which was such a great experience. So I'm very thankful to their program. And then there's a reciprocal program with Broward Schools, and that's where I met Cheryl. And she was phenomenal in helping us get our WBE and involved with Broward Schools. And then from there, I learned of other resources to help us as a woman-owned business, including the program at FAU and the PTAC program, as well as WeBank is a phenomenal program. So it's been a wonderful journey to become a woman-owned business. And I'm happy to be here and share experiences and my thoughts on how we run our business here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. It's a pleasure to have you as well. And we're really looking forward to hearing a lot more from all of you about your experiences, developing your business, growing your business, etc. Next, I would like to introduce Adriana Carrera. She is the owner of La Familia de Broward. So Adriana, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure, thank you. First, I have to thank you. I'm very honored to be here. It's amazing panels. I wouldn't believe that immigrant from Ecuador is able to be here with you guys. But, well, my name is Adriana Carrera. I'm the founder and editor of La Familia de Broward, which is an online magazine for U.S. Hispanics. It's been 10 years. We celebrate this year the 10th year anniversary of the magazine, and it's been a great journey. I bless this country really because it's really the land of opportunities. And how I became a small business owner, it was by a testimony that we have with my family. This business is with my husband too. And we went to a very rough patch as a family, and then God really saved us, Jesus Christ. And we realized that families, we need to be able to have a great society. We need to focus on families. So that's why this magazine was created, to give some tools to families in many aspects of their life, just financial, parenting, especially, they don't teach us finances and how to handle a marriage when we are growing up, or maybe in high school or school. So that's why we created this magazine. It's been 10 years, Maribel, and we're so very happy to have this. This endeavor it takes a long time and a lot of persistence. I'm from Ecuador. I'm from Guayaquil, a small country in the middle of the world. And what else can I tell you? That I'm a journalist. I have like 25 years of experience. I work in New York and I work in Miami as an editor and reporter. And my whole career, I did it here in the States.
Thank you so much, Adriana, for being with us this morning. And next, I would like to introduce to you Terry Ann McKenzie from McKenzie Cleaning. Terry Ann is also one of our certified small businesses and a success story. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Ann McKenzie. I'm the owner of McKenzie's Cleaning, Inc. We're a janitorial firm located here in Broward County. We are certified CBE firm, and which has really opened doors of opportunity for the cleaning company to operate on various levels in the industry. Our certification through Broward County OSDB has really helped us in breaking the barrier. As I stated, we are in the janitorial field, which is mainly serviced by women. However, it is dominated by our male counterparts. Most of the owners in the janitorial industry are men, and but most of the people who work in the industry are women. So I changed that by, helping promote women instead of being an employee, being a boss. And through through the small business program, we were able to get our certification, and our certification leveled the playing field for us to bid on the contracts that other bigger firms were able to bid on. And it also gave us opportunities to partner, force the prime major companies to do business with small businesses. And through those opportunities, we were able to break in to the county and other agencies, other federal agencies, and do the same work that others do.
Thank you so much, Terry Ann. And as you can see, we have a fascinating panel for you this morning. We have some excellent questions for our panelists this morning for them to share with you their experiences. We encourage you to type any questions you have. We're starting to get some of the questions on the comments. Please type your questions on the comment section of your Facebook Live. Share Facebook Live, share the feed with your friends. The numbers keep going up on the number of participants. So we're gonna start now having that conversation with our panelists. And somebody mentioned earlier, you started your business. You are the president, CEO. You are the girl boss, basically, right? So can you share with us, describe for us what success means to you? And I'm gonna open it up to all of you. We can start with Dr. Barbershari.
So I think success for everybody, I guess, is a little bit different. For me, I wanted to be able to be financially stable, have access to capital, and to be able to have the opportunity to grow my business. And so when I looked at those three factors, that's really what determined whether or not I was successful.
Thank you. Who else would like to add?
Success for me is walking in truth and being the best you can be at whatever your passion is. What I mean by this is you have to identify your calling and commit to doing whatever it takes to answer that calling on your life. If you believe you were called to be a mother, a teacher, a baker, a candlestick maker, just invest your time and resources in that calling. Because whatever you feed is what's going to grow, and whatever you put in is what you're going to get out.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Adriana?
I really agree with both of them. And also to me, for example, when you are able to in some way change lives or impact a life, in my case, it's a magazine. So if you can connect the reader with the resource, that's what to me is like a very grateful, and also it's a satisfaction, it's a success. Or for example, as you mentioned, someone who can be certified from the Hispanic community. So to me, that's success also.
Thank you, Adriana. Debbie, what success means?
I read this question and I saw the capital G in girl and the capital B in boss, and I have a little different perspective on this, only because I grew up as an athlete. And as an athlete, I was always focused on the goal. I was always focused on winning, or I was a figure skater growing up. So I was always focused on that training and what I needed to do and the steps I needed to take in order to be successful in what I was doing, or do the best I could do, or make progress. And that's true today too. In business, I look at the goal. I look at the light at the end of the tunnel. And if one door closes, I open another door. If there's a person or people not supporting me, then I find people or a group of or a person to support. So it's not so much me as a girl boss, it's me as a team player and what I can do to be able to support that team to meet our goal. So for me, success is resilience, persistence, being positive and supportive, and never quitting, because you'll make, as long as you're making progress, that's success to me. And of course, I realize I'm a woman. Of course, I've hit that glass ceiling. Of course, I've had challenges in my life with people because I am a woman in my positions that I've held. But I guess I'm always focused on what the goals are and making sure I have the right people surrounding me in order to be successful and help my team.
Thank you, Debbie. And resilience is so important, right? Now that we're dealing with the pandemic, we have been able to witness businesses that are reinventing themselves. They are really mastering how to pivot, right? Change the way they're doing business, etc. So that is definitely a very important aspect, being resilient to be able to adjust to the challenges, right? Thank you so much, and thank you all of you for sharing your thoughts. The next question I have to say is my favorite question from all the questions we're gonna have today, because I'm still trying to figure that one out. And the question is, how do you balance your career, your personal life, and all your passions? Like, is there such thing as a balance? Like, can you balance all of those things? This one is my favorite question. So we can start with Commissioner Dr. Sharif.
I say the answer to that question is yes, wholeheartedly yes. As a mother of 3 girls, I have 2 girls in college at UCF. I have a 13-year-old at home on Broward e-learning who thinks she can run the world and run me. I think I try to be as present as I can, but I think all of us kind of struggle at times with being a working mom and an entrepreneur. And owning my own business helped me to find that balance, and then gave me the opportunity to run for office and to do something greater than myself and serve other people. I see so many positives in the women that you have gathered here today, and I'm willing to bet that within them, there is a calendar carrying woman like myself, right? I used to only do the phone, but I started a few years ago with the planner, and in the planner, I plan my time for myself every week. So there's one day out of the week that I take for myself. I balance the other 6 days a week between work and my children and the county commission. And I feel like it took me a little bit to get going and to get that balance, but it is achievable. And I see that that's a commonality between successful people. And I just want to say, Deborah, you rock. A figure skater? Like what?
Wow, thank you from you, because I have always admired and respected you so much.
I mean, that's just amazing. You blew my mind. I had no idea about that. And, you know, Adriana, to have that magazine, the first time that I saw you come up in my Google search, I was like, what is La Familia? And I was like, I know that's Spanish because I, you know, but that is just amazing. That's an amazing growth. And I'll be looking to advertise, by the way, because now I know and I want to advertise. And Carrie Ann, you are in a similar position, just like myself, a male-dominated field. How cool is that to have a woman entrepreneur rocking that? And we have a lot in common, and I'm very proud to be here with you all today. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Dr. Sharif. And again, we are all working on trying to figure that balance, right? What works? Definitely a calendar, definitely a planner. For me, I love Teams. So I use Teams to coordinate all the things that I have to do, Microsoft Teams. But now we want to hear from Thierry Ann. Can you share with us, how do you balance all your priorities?
Wow. I have 4 children. So this one, I'm still trying to figure out, you know. I asked myself, will there ever be a balance? Because at times the scales seem to be leaning in one direction more than the other. And it's truly a balancing act to juggle home and family. And now that I'm a teacher again, because the kids are home, I have a daughter in college, you know, one in middle school, one in high school, and one in elementary school. So I have a child in each age group. And then business and community involvement and myself, you know, as the season change, so does the balancing act. There is sometimes when work take up most of my time, and other times when it tips in the family favor. One way of creating balance is delegating tasks and sharing the work, because I know that I can't do it all by myself. And I also cannot manage everything. You know, I can't be everywhere at the same time. So I cultivate a team with Mackenzie's, you know, where I have an assistant and we have the right managers and the right supervisors in place to minimize take off some of the work off my table. And so sharing the work and putting people in place to take off the pressure is very important. Finding the right team is a fundamental part of my work and at home, because I can't do it by myself. And when people offer me help, I take it, you know? And if you can afford to hire people to help you at home also, I would encourage it, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming. And the reality of it is that it's a juggling act. It's a juggling act. And I'm usually at the bottom of the totem pole after I do work and I do family and I do community, then I get to do self. I'm still trying to find a balance.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Thank you so much, Terry Ann, for those words of advice. We talked a little bit about mentorship, right? Senator Nanrich mentioned a mentorship program. Debbie mentioned that as well. How important establishing a mentor to grow as a leader is. Can you share with us how important it is to have a mentor? And what are some of the steps we can take to build that type of relationship with a mentor, a coach? If we can hear from Debbie.
Sure. I think and know mentorship is extremely important. And for a one-on-one, it takes a lot of time and commitment. And if you can find that one person that's willing to make that time and commitment to you, that is wonderful. And one of the pieces of advice that I would give, if you would like to establish that relationship, which you should, that it has to be reciprocated. And one of the best ways that you can get that commitment from a mentor is by giving to them. Meaning if they're on a board or a council, or they have a charity they're passionate about, get close to them and they'll be willing and able to give you more than you ever even asked for. In my case, it was multiple mentorships throughout the years, some parallel pathing, but some, and it started back with my father. He was a mentor of my life, of being a person of a hard work ethic and integrity and diplomacy. And then my husband as a mentor in the construction industry, and of course, industry related associations and also organizations. I had mentioned Broward County as one of those, having a tremendous mentorship program, as well as WeBank, which is the national certification. There are also other industry related associations that we're members of. And I identify with people that I can learn things from. And I am active, extremely active with these associations and being on boards and giving back to the community. So that's so important. And if you're looking for a mentor, look for those people or those groups that have mentors in the associations that are supportive, that are encouraging, and that provide resources. For example, not only does Broward County help you get your certification, has offered mentorship programs, but for example, the PTAC program through FAU, that is a tremendous program in helping you work through the ins and outs of SBA and their websites. And they'll even help you put together your capability statement. The resources go on and on and on with PTAC as well. So reach out to those people. And my message is also to reciprocate, to give back, because you will get more out of mentorships than you ever will if you just take in information.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And actually, that was our experience with our Broward County Mentorship Program. It's a mutual benefit for both the mentors and the proteges. They both were able to really benefit from the program. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing.
And be a mentor yourself. For example, we're as a general contractor, we're a mentor to small subcontractors. A lot of them come into this industry and they really don't understand the insurance. They don't understand the licensing. They don't understand the certifications. So we help and encourage them and coach them in the right direction to work to get to a better place so that they can take on the work that they should.
Thank you, Debbie, for that advice. Adriana, you want to tell us a little bit about your experience and how do you think mentorship is important?
it's very important, and I can relate with Debbie. For example, my mother and also my father were the first mentors. She was a librarian. She didn't finish high school, and then she came up to be the director of a very important library in my city. So I think she was, and also my father, the first mentors in my life. And I'm surrounded at very good people. I had the blessing to have good bosses, good editors. They really shaped me as a journalist, as a media person. And I can say my husband, because he's the business part of my magazine. He's the guy who knows finances. And so I go up to him in terms of sales, for example, he's the best. So he's really he's one of the parts when you were asking about the balance. He's a husband. I just have one daughter. There's another blessing. Just have one, and he helped me a lot when I was working full time. And I got fired. I got like let down when I was working in this economic newspaper, and then that was an opportunity. Really, that's why I became a business owner and start working with the magazine. So I will say that he was, or he is still my mentor. And when you have a product like this magazine, like it's kind of like you're in Broward pushing and doing something new, because the Hispanic community is big, but we are not in Miami. So this is a new thing. So I was looking for some people that can help me out how to break barriers. It's like an arrow that you have to push. And I'll say my husband, I'll say many people like you guys also. And when I interview people like Commissioner Sharif, it's an inspiration. It's also like a mentorship. I say I can get there.
Thank you, Adriana. What is the biggest challenge that you have faced as a woman on your journey starting your business, or since you have been in business? Can you all chime in and let us know what is the biggest challenge that you have faced?
Well, I have one big challenge. You see that magazine there? It's not because I was a woman. I think that's an advantage, really. But it was very hard. We started online, and then we tried to do a print magazine. So that was a huge challenge. We did it for a year and a half. It's beautiful, but you really have to have like a system. You have, that someone mentioned here, the right team to sell. So we stopped doing that, and we all know that online is king. So we continue to do that, but that was a very big challenge to get into that printing business, to me at least. And we learn a lot. I learned a lot about that process. But being a woman, I think it is to me an advantage. Open doors.
Thank you, Adriana. Can somebody else share with us any challenges you have faced, again, as a woman on your journey? We've heard from some of you already how you may be in an industry that is male dominated. Can you share with us, some of maybe the experiences that you had, and how did you deal with that?
So I'll share. I think one of my biggest challenges when I first started off was people actually believing in my vision. So I quit a 6-figure job and I decided to go out on my own to create my company. And I started my company with my retired English teacher mother. And I made her my HR person, my secretary, my biller, everything. And when I started, people kept saying, "You are absolutely nuts. You gave up a stable job to do what?" And I said, well, I have to invest in it in order for me to stay home, because my job required me to travel and I was leaving my kids. And I felt like I was missing something. And that's one of the things that we struggle with when we go out into the workforce as women. We feel like we're leaving behind that maternal love and caring instinct that we have. And we're going into the workforce and we're like neglecting our children, for lack of a better word. And so I was struggling really hard with that in the beginning. And then I said, I'm just going to do this. And one day when I was feeling really, really down, I turned around and I had a couple of my family members saying, she's nuts. Like, she just took all her savings and put it into this business. And I remember my mother saying to me, listen to me, Barbara, if I had to bet on somebody in my lifetime, I would bet on you, because I know you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And my mother stood there and went through that with me. And that's why I built up to the point that I built up. And then I had this problem, and that problem was getting financing. Women-owned business have an issue with getting financing, and it doesn't matter how great your credit is. I had never written a bad check. My credit score was almost 800. I had paid my mortgage on time. I paid my bills on time, but I struggled trying to get credit to grow my business. And I think that that is a realistic realization that all of us deals with right now in any industry. I mean, I'm sure that everybody on this call could agree. I feel like men get financed quicker and they get more than we do. And we have to work 10 times as hard and be better. I'll share a story and I'm gonna stop, but I had a incident recently. I was trying to purchase a new building to expand my company, which thank God I did. I was able to do that. And I'd gone to a bank and, so I grew from 2,500 square feet to now 6,400 square feet. So I was trying to buy a standalone building, and my credit score is 825, which is almost as perfect as you can get. I have positive EBITDA in my company. My cash flow is positive. And I just remember sitting in front of a banker and he said, God, in my 30 years in banking, I've never seen this from a Black female business. And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, what? He said, you're a unicorn. And I didn't know, that statement just, it just it offended me so much, because I kept thinking, I know that there's other Black women businesses out there that are doing well. And I'm not Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, okay? I'm just comfortable and middle class and I'm happy. And I said to him, did you seriously just call me a unicorn? And he looked at me and he said, well, that's a good term in our industry. And I did not use that bank, by the way, because I wanted somebody that really believes in the female power and the power of being an entrepreneur and what that can do for you if you have the right people in place. So anyway, I chose another bank, but I say this to say that men look at us differently. Bankers look at us differently. And that is probably the biggest hurdle or obstacle I've had to face. And it doesn't matter what size I've grown to, I've had to face that. So 21 years in, with the type of reports I have in financials, I still face that. So I want people out there to know that please don't set yourself up for disappointment and failure to think that you're not going to face that, because I think that's part of the implicit bias that exists within the lending industry.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Sharif. And it's basically how we tackle those challenges, right? We're all going to have challenges. It's how do you tackle those challenges? And
right.
How do you deal with the situations like that, right? That is what's so important. Thank you for sharing that story. Debbie, would you like to share with us what challenges you may have?
I have to go back 20 years ago, to be honest with you, but it's a story worth sharing. And I had a mentor, and we had a great relationship. He did teach me a lot. I was in the manufacturing industry at that time in my career, and I had met him. I was I started my career after graduate school with Pizza Hut and then Arby's. And I met this gentleman at Arby's, and he owned manufacturing facilities all over the country. And I said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to be retired by the age of 35. That was my goal. Own manufacturing like he did and grow. So I ended up becoming a partner in a manufacturing facility near the Miami airport. And I had taken the chemical division of this company, and that was in trouble, and they weren't manufacturing, and that it was taking them months to get product out. So I basically undid all the operations, understood them, and put them back together. And I went from 3 months to 3-day delivery times. And I thought I was the champion and I was the winner. unfortunately, what won over was the other two board members who were men. And these were all older men. Compared to me, I was a younger woman in probably my early 30s, I guess. And it came to a board meeting, and they decided without me that I was no longer needed. And it was a shock to me. And because I had evidence of the progress I had made and the profitability, but they decided on their own with the other president of the other division that I no longer was needed, and he could take back the division again, that he had messed up. So that was a horrible experience. But what I learned, and what my dad had said, is don't stay somewhere where they don't want you. And I think everybody has challenges in life. And yeah, that was because I was a woman. I wasn't one of the men. I wasn't in the meeting even. And I was a board member. I was an owner. So it was not a good situation, but I learned, again, surround myself with people that truly support me and will help me grow. And it reminds me also of my friend a long time ago. I asked her, what did she learn from Prekina, and before she got married? And it was basically, the advice was, one was to surround yourself with people who will support your relationship and what you need to do to be successful as a couple, in this case, a business. But it's also about not sweating the small stuff, and it's about understanding compromise. So that was a hard lesson, a hard pill to swallow, but I grew from it. And today I'm fortunate that I'm surrounded by very positive, good people. We have an excellent team, and I am on the board of many, not many, but 3 key associations. And I'm involved in the community, and I give back to the community, and I get a lot in return. And I have to say, my husband's probably my biggest fan and supporter. And I'm very thankful for that, because that has made us successful together. And I have to say kudos to the women out there that are not only working and running their own business, but have kids. That's the most amazing thing to me, especially multiple kids. but that's the most, I don't know how you do it. And the other thing, when I heard that statistic from this senator, that there's a 33% gap in pay and salary of people in the workforce. That is just incredible to me that exists today still. And another reason to go out and start your own business and to be in control of your destiny. Yes, it's really hard work, and you work long hours, especially if you have families and other things you need to get done and serve the community, but it is so worth it and so rewarding.
Thank you, Debbie, for sharing that story, and it's so important. I know all our Facebook listeners are very engaged. We have some questions that I want to be able to have time to share with all of you. Our numbers keep going up. We encourage our Facebook viewers to please share this conversation with all your friends. We're going to be recording this session, so you can even share it with your friends after, because if they're not available now, because we are sharing great information, right? Some excellent suggestions, tips that you can use to grow as a woman, as a professional woman. If you have a business, how you can pivot, right? And reinvent yourself. The last question we have for our speakers, but we have more questions from our audience, is what advice do you have for women that are looking to grow their business, or that they're looking to grow within the company that they work for at this time?
Well, there you go.
Yes, Terry Ann, go ahead.
Okay. I would advise women, don't let your gender stop you from getting ahead. By wanting more and doing more, don't let your gender stop you. You can't want and not put in work, because faith without works is dead. So you have to be committed to putting in what it takes to get in where you need to go.
So if I had to give a woman advice, because I was in corporate America, I think the biggest thing that we do is that we devalue ourselves. So if you can't see the value in yourself and what your self-worth is in terms of that business or that position you're seeking, you're never going to get it. But you have to value yourself, but then you also have to show others the value in you. And what we talked about today was about how we struggle as women in male-dominated professions. So you know already from the get-go, you have to set out work about 3 or 4 times harder than your male counterpart. And we do that very well, I might add. But when you start to show your value, and because in companies like this in corporate America, they always look at everybody as expendable. But if you can show so much value that they have to think twice about putting you in that category, that's when you start to move through the ranks better. And so it's about value.
Thank you, Dr. Sharif.
I
Adriana, yes?
Yes, I think like Terrian said earlier that we need to know our purpose in life. When you know what is it that God created to do here, it's so much easier because you know your calling, you know what you like. So to me, the advice is to get to know you, to get to find the purpose. Why are you here? For example, in my case, I know I like community. I like to help. And I love to be an editor and journalist. So I put my abilities, if I may say, a public relations person, in my purpose to help the community. So get to know yourself, get to know, as Commissioner said, your value. What is it that you are, what you can do, and the things that you don't know. For example, ask for help. Ask for help. Surround yourself, like Debbie said, good people, mentors, or people that can complement you.
Thank you, Adriana. I think I would like to take.
I would like to share. I have a little list here.
Yes, Debbie, go ahead.
And thank God my husband and I compliment each other, because God knows when you spend 24/7 with your husband, you need to compliment yourself and not be exactly alike. First of all, I think with anybody, understanding your business better than anybody else is so extremely important. Know and speak the facts. Don't think, don't feel. And of course, there's places for that when you're coming up with campaigns and things that you need to think and feel. But with respect to business meetings and finance meetings and getting investors, know your business better than anybody else. Be unarguably the authority and be credible, and reach out to resources to have that information and to set yourself up so that you are in the best position to be that authority and differentiate yourself. We're all differentiating ourselves by being CBE, but also by being WBE, by being WeBank certified, WOSB, DBE certified. And of course, in your business offerings are so extremely important. Plan your work and work your plan and your strategy, and keep on track. Like I said earlier, keep focused on your goals and what you need to do and the light at the end of the tunnel and all the steps you need to take to get there. And this is so critical, being involved in your community, giving back to your community. Obviously, Commissioner Sharif does that in a big way. We can all do that in any way we choose. So get involved and don't have an agenda. Go out there with the right intentions and it will come back. Be patient and it will come back. You build so many relationships, but it takes a while, but you have to have the right intention. Do it, whether it's the chamber, industry-related associations, being involved in charities. You meet amazing people, talented people, giving people. So just be patient with that. Be patient, period. Be with your business and its development. Be kind, choose your words wisely. Less is most likely more with respect to where you're going. And in fact, remember, it's better to listen than to speak so you understand the solutions needed. So that's my advice in just being involved and taking advantage of all those wonderful resources out there, like through Broward County and other associations.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for sharing those, again, words of wisdom and ideas and tips that our women that are listening to our Facebook Live can follow. I'm going to start with some of the questions from our audience. We have some really good questions. The first one says, as a millennial who recently graduated from college and is looking to start her own business, what advice do you have that you wish somebody told you when you first started, when you were thinking about starting your business, and it's something that you learn over time and you wish somebody told you back then? Any thoughts related to that one advice that you wish somebody told you at the beginning?
Utilize your resources out there. I have to go back to that again. There's SBA, there's SCORE, there's all kinds of resources that can help you set up your business plan, get financing, and do all those things. And they can be a mentor. If you don't have one right away, they can provide mentorship for you while you try to find people that can help you, and then start building relationships and connections so that you can build your business. That's probably key in what I would say.
And contact Broward County Office of Economic and Small Business Development.
Yes.
Other advice? Yes, Terian.
I was saying good plug, good one. Yes, most definitely. I would say stick to itness. Don't accept no. No for me means next option. When people don't see your vision, it's sometimes disheartening and discouraging for people to go on. You know, I walked away from a teaching career when I was younger, and it was, oh, you're leaving your good job and you're making good, steady money. You know, you're going to have ups and downs with starting your own business, but you have to have that stick to itness. You have to stick to it. You have to block out what people are telling you, and you really have to learn to drive yourself, because something inside of you is telling you keep on going. You have to follow that, you know, and you won't, it's not always going to be peaches and cream and a bed of roses, but there is a bed of roses.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I think that one of the things that I would tell my younger self is it is okay to have your own thoughts and ideas and stand on those principles that you have. Because a lot of times we are pressured within organizations to conform to the previous standards of what's in place. And when we have a new thought or idea, we get people that shoot us down and say, oh no, it's not done that way. It's never been done that way before. Where did you come from with that? And I wish I could go back and tell my younger self, it is okay to be okay with that thought, because I succumbed to that pressure in the beginning of my career, and there are things that I wanted to go back and change. And so if I could give anybody any information, that would just be stand, yes, in your truth, but also remember, sometimes when you have an original thought, it's because God gave it to you and it's time for a change.
I would say in all practicality too, make sure you're not undercapitalized. Make sure that you don't quit your day job before you have enough behind you. And it's always good to find someone that's already in the business, because you may not understand what it takes, and to go spend a day or a week with a company that does what you do. And they may be willing to do that given you're new in the industry and they want to help, especially a woman-owned business to a woman-owned business.
Yes, basically shadowing somebody else on that same industry.
Yeah, that's a reach back. I think you should reach back. You have to reach back and carry people forward. I've mentored lots of other home health agencies in my industry. People say, well, why are you mentoring competitors? Because I can't do it forever and I can't do it alone. And there's enough business out there for all of us. And I take women-owned businesses, whoever comes to me, and I try to help them. I think that's the key here is giving back and looking back and bringing another person forward.
Thank you. And at times I've seen stories where mentorship was basically that component that really drove success for that specific business or entrepreneur. That opportunity to be mentored by another company that had the experience. Thank you. Thank you. We have another question here from Elaine. I am a certified state of Florida SBE, DBE small women owner. I provide drug and alcohol testing nationwide. I am looking to get involved with women in construction. Do we have any advice, recommendations, or thoughts for Elaine?
I would say there's a lot of, to start with, there's NAWIC.
NAWIC.
there's also crew. There's also, I'm trying to think of several of them, of FLDCP, Florida Design and Construction Professionals. So there's so many construction related associations to get involved with that would be a great starting point for her.
Thank you.
Go to the meetings, get on the consoles, get involved.
Thank you. We have another question from Duke Earl. And the question is for Commissioner Sharif. What advice would you give to a young person who wants to start a business with limited cash?
The first thing that young person needs to do is get a business plan and projections done. Because a lot of times when we began our journeys, we don't know what that journey is going to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. And if you're going to go and try to get capital for your startup business, you're going to need a business plan and a strategy as to how you're going to grow that business and why that business needs to be in the marketplace, how you're going to differentiate yourself from competitors, and then what are your expectations 5 years from now? And that's really what all business lenders really look for, is whether or not you have you're being realistic with your expectations, because many times businesses fail because they're not. And so you have to get a plan in place, know what your strategy is for growing it, know your business acumen and model, how you differentiate from competitors, and then get your 5-year projections. And most of all, you need to have some skin in the game. So when you go into the bank and you say, I need $100,000, but I've already invested 25 of my own.
Thank you. We have another question. Do you know of any organizations that have mentor programs?
Don't we have the Kaufman Fast Track program in Broward County?
Yes,
And
we do.
And I think we do a fantastic job with getting people mentored. And so I would say contact our OESPD office, because we have mentorship and programs to help you with development of your business.
Yes, we can definitely connect you with all the organizations that we know offer mentoring programs. We have an entrepreneurship program. We actually had a mentor protege pilot program, and we're recommending to expand that in the future. So definitely contact our office and we'll be glad to share more information with you. Another question, what did you do to overcome your initial fear when you were starting your business and you were worried, you were afraid? That initial fear, what did you do to overcome that initial fear?
Take it one step at a time, which starts with the business plan and understanding what you need to do, break it down, and have faith over fear. That's what I always say, especially in the construction industry. Have faith over fear. It's not a problem, it's a situation, and there's a solution.
Thank you, Debbie.
And I want to mention too, regarding the question from the person asking about the drug testing business and how to get started. Of course, Broward County has a list of all the certified SBCB companies, as well as there's a list of WB, MB companies that's available that this person could market to.
Yes, and we'll be glad to connect you with those resources as well. Feel free to send us an email. And that's all the questions we have from our audience. I would like to thank all of you for this fascinating event. I am energized, I am recharged. I am going to listen to this Facebook Live again a few months from now, because I need to get re-energized with all that wonderful advice that you share with us this morning. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your experience, your knowledge, and for offering opportunities to mentor other businesses and other women. We really need that. We need to work together to support our women-owned businesses and those that want to start their own business. We are really grateful for everything that you shared today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all this information. We also want to thank our staff for everything that they did today to coordinate this event. We had over 75 participants throughout the day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are re-energized. We are really excited. Happy Women History Month. And we want you to connect with us, with the Office of Economic and Small Business Development. Please go to our website. We update our website daily with information for businesses. If you're thinking about starting your business and you need assistance, if you're already in business for a year, 2 years, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're ready to export to another countries, we have a program for you. Please go to our website. We also have a lot of information about financial assistance that we have through the CARES Act dollars and the federal funding, state funding, and local funding. Here is our phone number, 954-357-6400. Please call us. We are here to meet with you. We can meet with you one-on-one virtually to work with you through the process of developing your business, answering any questions you may have. You can also email us, follow us on social media. Definitely, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, YouTube. We definitely want you to follow us on social media. It has been a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you again to our panelists, and we're looking forward to hearing from all of you very soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me too.
Thank you.
Fabulous job. Great job.
Great job, Tamika. And Office
Great job,
of
everybody.
Business Development putting this together.
Such an inspiration. Have to go.
Have a great
Bye.
day, everybody.
Thank
You
you. Thank you, Tamika.
Commissioner Sharif.
Thank you.
Commissioner
you.
Sharif, I
Yes.
want to mention to you, there's a new Women in Healthcare group.
Oh,
was-
really?
Yes, you need to check it out. It started in DC. There's a new chapter here, and I think you will love it. Top-notch people there.
Awesome. Okay, I'll look it up.
Its website is womeninhealthcare.org.
Oh, excellent. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
I think we're still live.
We're sharing. We're networking.
It's okay.
Helping each other.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Debbie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for-
Broward County
for
team.
everything. Excellent program. We have to do this again.
That's great.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
Bye.